when you see the Googles, the Metas, the Amazons, those bigger names, those are things that probably have more appeal to us. Those young men and women, those actors and actresses, they fell in love with Tulsa, just like we fell in love with them. I think one of the things that differentiates Tulsa and Northeast Oklahoma from many of our competitors across this country is the fact that we have tribal participants, tribal engagement, tribal leadership.
Welcome back to Lobby Talks. Today we are joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Tulsa himself, Mike Neal. He is the president and CEO of Tulsa Regional Chamber, and he's been there for nearly 20 years. Does it feel like it was just yesterday?
Time flies. Time
Sure
flies,
does.
Rochelle, when you're having fun.
Good. I'm glad you're having a lot of fun. Under his watch, the chamber's been named the nation's best chamber multiple times. How many times?
4 times.
That's phenomenal. Thank you, Mike, for doing all of that for Tulsa.
Well, you're kind.
But before he was championing Tulsa, he was leading major economic efforts in Tennessee and his hometown of Monroe, Louisiana. Mike, we've seen the billion with the B headlines for 25, but I want to start with your personal why. Why Tulsa? Why did you want to come here to build your legacy 20 years ago?
That's a great question. Thanks for asking. I was a Louisiana native. I never thought I would leave Louisiana. Never in my life thought I would leave Louisiana, and suddenly one day I was asked if I had an interest in running, at the time, the 3rd largest chamber in America, in Nashville, Tennessee. And I said, well, I never had thought about that before. But yeah, I'm up for it. We did that for 5 years, had an amazing time there. Nashville's a wonderful city. Nashville then is by no means what it is today. We thought we were on a roll then, and thought we had some amazing economic development success announcements. Great, we landed some great businesses. But I think after we left, Nashville kind of got on steroids, and maybe like on quadruple steroids since then, in how that economy's boomed. So I'm very proud of them. They've done a great job. It was a pleasure to be there. And then it came here, I happened to be recruited because of our success in landing a number of new industries, corporate headquarters in Nashville. We found ourselves being recruited to New York, to L.A., to Washington, D.C., and I'd worked in D.C. on a congressional staff before, but didn't really think I wanted to do any of those things. We had 2 young daughters, 2 young daughters from the South at the time in elementary school, and couldn't get comfortable on one of those places. And then suddenly a consultant said, you got to go look at Tulsa. You got to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and check Tulsa out before you make a decision where you may go next. And I said, Tulsa, I've been to Tulsa before and I don't like it. I wasn't impressed with it. Why would I want to go to Tulsa? So we came here really out of courtesy to a consultant, and found that Tulsa was not the same city that I had visited 10, 15 years before, and that Tulsa had a brand new mayor, Kathy Taylor. And Tulsa had a lot of the BOK Center was a hole in the ground, but we really saw they just passed Vision 2025, and we saw all these amazing things about to happen here. And I kind of said the 2 key things that the chamber was looking for at the time, 20 years ago, was someone who knew how to do government advocacy, government affairs, and somebody who knew how to do economic development. And I don't have many strengths, but those were about the only 2 strengths I had at the time. Those were probably the 2 things that I did best and I was most comfortable with. And so we said, let's give Tulsa a go for a few years and see how it lasts. And now
20 years later, here you are.
I'm 19 and a half, almost 20 years into this thing.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
Well, we're so glad you made that decision. Tulsa has really reaped the rewards.
Well, it's been a good fit. Our family has loved it here, and it's been fun.
Oh, good. Well, let's dive into the Chamber's Bridge to the Future 2030 initiative. I heard that brought in $7.3 billion in new investments in Tulsa its first year. This is Tulsa, right? Okay.
Fortunately.
That's amazing.
Tulsa, Northeast Oklahoma.
There you go. It sounds like the kind of number you expect from Chicago or D.C. to be boasting about. With that much new business flowing in, I'm sure that travel managers are they're just lining up and wanting to come to Tulsa, don't you think?
Well, hopefully,
They should be.
we're seeing a tremendous amount of activity from site selection consultants.
Yes.
Tremendous amount of activity from site selection consultants on the economic development side, travel consultants, and agents and people on the tourism side. And so
Right.
we're blessed to have great momentum on both fronts.
That's
on
wonderful.
on the economic development side, on the tourism side. Our teams are working really, really well together. I'm really blessed. You look back at the success of this past year and the numbers and the metrics from this past year. In my mind, it's really due to a couple things. Really, maybe three things. Number one, we're blessed to have some amazing volunteers. We have an amazing board of directors, amazing leadership. Bill Knight Automotive chaired the chamber
awesome.
last year, did a masterful job. Dr. Cliff Robertson, the new CEO of St. Francis, is our new chairman this year. Dana Weber from Webco Industries is our chair-elect. And then likewise, we've got a phenomenal staff. We have the best chamber staff in America.
I absolutely
by
agree.
far, the best chamber
they have
staff in
such
America.
a love for Tulsa, and not only where Tulsa is achieving, but most importantly, the people here and the culture, and they're just the perfect advocates for Tulsa.
Yeah, they do. They do a
Yes.
tremendous job.
They absolutely do. Well, Mike, can you provide a high-level overview of the Bridge to the Future 2030 initiative and the investment that it's bringing to Tulsa?
Sure, Rochelle. It is. It is what used to be the Tulsa's Future Regional Economic Development Program. It is that.
Yes.
That's a key piece of it.
Okay.
It's a key. The Tulsa's Future Regional Economic Development Partnership is a 22-county regional economic development partnership, public-private sector led collaboration involving 3 tribal governments, a tremendous number of cities, counties, chambers of commerce, economic development organizations, tourism organizations, many other groups. So a phenomenal collaborative effort. And about 80% of the funding for the program goes to economic development. Economic development being new business recruitment, existing business retention and expansion, workforce and talent attraction, and really national media and marketing. The other 20% of it, for the first time, really ties into our Tulsa regional tourism efforts, and specifically Tulsa FMAC, the
Yes.
Tulsa Office of Film, Music, Arts, and Culture, in that we're creating a local film fund, a local film incentive fund. And so some of these dollars in this effort come from the tourism side, the majority come from the economic development side for our national marketing. And for the first time, this film program, film fund, because we're seeing such enormous success in the film space that I would have never dreamed possible 10 years ago. I certainly wouldn't have dreamed possible 5 years ago.
Agreed.
And so that's kind of the key thrust of what the program is all about.
Fantastic. So a huge part of this new business seems to be international. $4 billion with the UAE aluminum facility and a Brazilian-based CBC Global moving into region. How does the 2030 strategy specifically target these global players to ensure Oklahoma is their first choice?
Well, I think Tulsa is a global city. Tulsa, Northeast Oklahoma, is truly, and I'd say the average everyday citizen, maybe the viewer of this program, probably has no clue how international we are.
Right.
We've been that way for some time. But as we are pursuing economic development projects, what we're finding is that an ever-increasing number of these projects, day in, day out, month by month, are international projects. And so, I mean, this is truly, you hear that this is the global economy. You hear that we live in a global economy.
Right.
We work in a global economy. But that's truly the case.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know if it's 1 in 4, 1 in 3, 1 in 4, 1 in 5. I'm not sure the precise number. Probably more like 1 in 4 number of projects that we get, new projects that come to us as potential projects come from an international company.
That's amazing. I would have never thought that for Tulsa
Yeah.
when I was here 30 years ago.
And so, when we host big events like the PGA Championship, the U.S. Open, we just finished hosting the SEC Gymnastics Championship, just finished hosting the Big 12 Wrestling Championship. We're going to have USA Gymnastics in here very soon. But all these events we host, we have international participation.
Gives
And
us
we
that
have folks
international-
coming internationally to watch these events and come visit our city
Yes.
and come eat in our local restaurants, stay in our hotels, and experience our city. And so certainly on the economic development side, we're just seeing more and more of that every single day. 10 years ago, we may have been a little bit intimidated by it.
I'm sure.
But now we're not at all. And now it's just yesterday we took part in hosting a grand opening of Lufthansa Technic's new expanded manufacturing facility, MRO facility out at Tulsa International Airport. And they this was an expansion we broke ground on 13 months ago. They just announced yesterday that they're going to do another expansion, twice the size of the expansion they just completed. Probably break ground for that in about September. And this is a great German aerospace company that's had a presence in Tulsa for 15 or 20 years. We've been great partners with them. They've been great partners with us. And so they're headquartered in Hamburg, Germany, and they had a number of corporate officials from Hamburg and other German dignitaries here for this event. And it's just something we do on a routine, regular basis.
It's just a regular Tuesday here now, isn't it?
Yes.
I love that. With these roles averaging with all there's a $3 billion data center coming in with, Bill infrastructure, the Google's $9 billion expansion, these roles could be averaging very, very high salaries. How's this new tech hub status helping us steal spotlight from the coast and attracts kind of those younger, technically charged individuals?
We mentioned data centers, and data centers is in the news a ton.
It is.
Data centers is probably the most misunderstood endeavor or industry that exists in America or across the globe right now. People are scared to death of them. The concept of oh my Lord, we're not going to be able to have any water. We're not going to have electricity. Oh, we're going to die. All these horrible things are happening because
the robots are taking over.
Absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'll go back to my days in Nashville, Tennessee. Following 9/11, we recruited the Bank of New York's first data center to Nashville. It was their first data center ever outside of New York, outside of the state of New York.
Wow.
They came to Nashville, Tennessee, call it 23 years ago. And at the time, no one ever, and it doesn't have a sign on it that says Bank of New York. They've never told anybody that they were there, but they've been there forever. We've had data centers in Tulsa forever. I have a good friend, Wes Mitchell, who now works at the United Way, who ran a data center in Tulsa between 20 and 25 years.
Wow.
And actually multiple data centers in Tulsa. So we've had data centers here for a long, long time.
Wow.
But they're super misunderstood. But I will tell you, in our economic development pipeline that has been amazingly strong over these last several years, at one point last year, we probably had 35 different data centers in our pipeline.
Yeah.
Now, by no means do we want 35 data centers. By no means do we have the capability of handling 35 new data centers. But there's a number that we can handle. There's a number that we do want. And certainly when you see the Googles, the Metas, the Amazons, those bigger names, those are things that probably have more appeal to us than maybe some of the smaller ones or some of the names that we don't know.
Right. You want to have a good fit for Tulsa and the growth that we're experiencing.
And I think if you look back at Google in the Mid-America Industrial Park in Prairie that our good friend, our board executive committee, David Stewart, runs, who we deal with, he and his team, on a constant basis, daily for the most part. Google has done wonders for that economy. They've done wonders for the public school system in Mayes County and all around that region. And so
much more than just providing jobs.
Yes.
It's really pouring out into our communities.
Yes. And the other thing about data centers is for the most part, every 3 to 4 years, they put in new servers. There are a huge number of companies in Tulsa that are Tulsa companies that now are in the data center space, that now do work. Aon, McElroy Manufacturing, you've got Williams, you've got One Oak, all doing stuff in the energy companies that are doing things in the data center space now. So there's a tons of local construction companies, subcontractors, electrical firms, and others in Tulsa that are doing data center work, not just here in this state, but really across the globe and across the country. And so that's an area that, and other technology stuff that's really followed that and that will continue to follow that. That's been a nice new boost. At the Chamber, we have a technology council to where we're able to bring together the leaders of all these technology companies to see how they can assist one another, support one another, and play off one another, just like we do with the Manufacturers Council that we've had for ages, or just like we do today with an Aerospace Council.
Yes. When was that council put together?
Probably 2 years ago. And it's just, and likewise, we have a number of collaborative events to where we bring together the Manufacturers Council, we bring together the Aerospace Council, we bring together the Technology Council all together to do joint events, joint activities for their respective members. But they're also seeing a lot of cross-collaboration between the three of them because, it doesn't matter if you're in manufacturing, doesn't matter if you're in aerospace, doesn't matter what industry or what business you're in today. Technology is huge.
It's going to be there.
Engineering, architecture, banking, finance, it doesn't matter. Healthcare, medicine, it doesn't matter. Technology is playing a huge part and a huge role in that today.
And deductible in all the industries.
Yes, and all these companies have a huge number of IT workers, and with the University of Tulsa and their cybersecurity program, other universities are creating, and in Tulsa Tech, Tulsa Community College are all creating cyber programs as well that really helps us develop that workforce talent.
That's phenomenal. Your team attended 23 site consultant conferences last year to keep Tulsa top of mind for global business. What misconceptions do people have about Oklahoma or in Tulsa?
Well, first of all, a lot of people say, why in the world would you be going out and visiting these different communities, visiting different states, visiting different countries? What's the purpose of that? Well, the purpose of that is just like in, call it high school or college, call it college football, basketball, baseball. The way you get talent is you go recruit them. And so same thing in this space. We have to go out and recruit companies. And we work closely with site selection consultants who play a major role in corporate America today to help companies decide where they go next, where they expand to, where they relocate their headquarters, where they build new distribution centers, where they build data centers, where they build whatever. These site selection consultants are playing an important role. And so we go out and aggressively court them, recruit them, tell them the cool things that are happening in Tulsa, explain to them about this, and we invite them to come see us. We invite, and we always invite them to come see us, but I invite them to bring prospects. Bring prospects to come see us. And have a chance to spend time with both of them during those processes, during site visits, as when and while they're here.
If you're not getting in front of them and showing that you really have an interest not only in their business but what they can do for our community, why would they check you out?
Otherwise they would never. If we don't go out and aggressively pursue them, unless they have a direct business connection here or a direct relationship with a company that they're trying to get closer to, they would not just dream up and come visit Tulsa in Northeast Oklahoma on their own.
Somebody's got to plant that seed.
Yes, and so we've got a great sales team. Kim Wilmus she's our Senior Vice President of Economic Development. She and her team do a great job. Stacy Smith, Katie Grigger, and others of going out and really selling and representing our community and our region in the communities across our 22-county region so effectively.
We're very fortunate to have them and all the work that they do. It doesn't just come here. People are putting in a lot of work. How has the Chamber continued to prioritize and celebrate its partnership with Cherokee, Muskogee, Osage Nations, especially regarding the massive impact in our regional economy and culture?
we're blessed. You can sit in my office downtown, and about a mile from my office, our office, is the boundaries of 3 reservations: the boundaries of the Cherokee Nation, the boundaries of the Osage Nation, and the boundaries of the Muskogee Creek Nation. All come together within about a mile of my office, and so we're so closely connected. We're blessed. You know, there's lots of chambers who think they have Indian chiefs who serve on their boards of directors. They're not really Indian chiefs. We're blessed in that we do have 3 tribal chiefs. Chief Hoskin from the Cherokee Nation, Chief Hill from the Muskogee Nation, it's just our chiefs. Our chiefs play such an important role. And you think back in the film stuff with the work with the Osage Nation, the chief was so engaged and so involved and partnered so well in that space. And so our 3 chiefs work so well with us. We have a State of Tribal Nations event every spring, and then around May, and we bring the 3 chiefs together, and they're so effective at articulating what their respective nations are doing, what their respective councils or congresses are doing, and the public-private partnerships that they are engaged in, and that they partner with. And they're such important drivers of our local communities. You look back, you referenced earlier economic development success projects. I look back over the last 10 years, and almost every major project that we've landed, recruitment of company or a major expansion, 8 times out of 10, one of the tribes is involved in helping us with that.
Really?
And I failed to mention a minute ago, Chief Jeffrey Standing Bear from the Osage Nation. He was the one that did such a phenomenal job, with Killers of the Flower Moon, and all the things in that space. And so the 3 chiefs, Standing Bear, Hoskin, and Hill, have really worked together very well, and they work very well with our organization, and they work very well with local government and the heads of local businesses, and so they've been wonderful partners. And so we really see that's a relationship that we've got to build upon, we've got to strengthen. Cherokee Nation just recently acquired the office building, Williams Towers 1 and 2 in downtown Tulsa, that we own. I mean, that we own, but that our office has been in for 25 years. They now own it, and we're thrilled to have them as landlords.
Oh, that's
They'll be the best
fantastic.
landlord we've ever had. And so they're wonderful partners.
That's amazing. Well, if they are not involved actively in the dignified representation of their history, their culture, then who will be, right? So they take it to heart. It means a lot to them, and it's very evident, especially when we have things like the Killers of the Flower Moon. It's just so important that representation is accurate, and so they take it to heart.
Well, and it's a real differentiator. And I tell the chiefs this on a regular basis, and they know that, and they know it well, is that being able, I think one of the things that differentiates Tulsa and Northeast Oklahoma from many of our competitors across this country is the fact that we have tribal participants, tribal engagement, tribal leadership who can partner with our cities, who can partner with our county, who can partner with the state, who can partner with the federal government, can partner with the private sector. And so I also tell people, one of the keys to our success, and I tell every single prospect that visits us, is that number one, we're not interested in dating them. Nothing wrong with dating. I have a young daughter who is very interested in dating. It's a very important part of her life, and we hope she has a lot of success with it. But we tell them we're not interested in dating these companies. We're interested in marrying them. And when we marry them, we're going to be there with them through thick and thin.
We're in it for the long haul.
Yes, and our expectation is that they'll be there with us through thick and thin as well, and we support one another. And so that public-private partnership, we feel, in Tulsa and Northeast Oklahoma is stronger than anywhere else in this country, and it's been a huge differentiator in the success that we've had over these past 20 years, and certainly the success that we're having today, Rochelle.
Yeah, that's amazing. You guys have been very, very successful. It's great to hear about the bridge between the state and local governments and the tribes and how important it is to our community. It's one thing to build the powerhouse economy at home, but it's another to make sure the rest of the world's paying attention. From the New York Stock Exchange to the neon lights of Broadway, Tulsa's story is being told in some of the biggest rooms in the country. Let's talk about how we're turning heads in places like New York City and Dallas. Your team recently hosted a Bringing Tulsa to New York City event that even landed Mayor Nichols on New York Stock Exchange TV. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we try every year to take a delegation, including our mayor and or our governor, to New York City to visit with site selection consultants, to visit with key businesses up there. Just this past couple of years, we've been able to knock the ball out of the park. Beginning 2 years ago with the Outsiders.
Yes.
With the fact that the Outsiders came here initially, it was a book written by a 16-year-old high school girl. That became a movie, a very successful movie. That
cultural phenomenon,
years
actually.
later,
Yeah.
thanks to Angelina Jolie and others, and tons of investors, including many philanthropists and investors here in Tulsa, got taken to Broadway 2 years ago and became, the musical of the year. Best musical of the year on Broadway. It was The Outsider, and it tells the story of Tulsa. And so it's given us an opportunity to showcase Tulsa, and the cast and the crew came here. Then last fall, when they introduced and unveiled and launched their national tour that will be touring for the next number of years across this country, they came just like the Broadway crew and started out in Tulsa and spent a long weekend with us, seeing all the sights, seeing all the scenes. And in each case, those young men and women, those actors and actresses, they fell in love with Tulsa.
Yes.
Just like we fell in love with them.
Yes.
And it's like, so you go up there, my wife and I have been up there several times, taking our daughters up there, and it's like seeing your children perform. It's like you're so proud of them.
Yes.
Then they call me Coach, the initial crew.
But it just fills your heart,
They said
doesn't
you have a deep voice. You sound like a coach. And I said, well, I wanted to be a coach.
See that.
I wish I was a college football coach today. I would be a lot wealthier. But I said I'll take coach as a compliment.
That's right.
But seeing these people, and then they keep telling our story. They tell the story of Tulsa. We've been also very fortunate, dating back to COVID, is we were able for the first time ever to come up with some COVID relief dollars that enabled us through Tulsa County, that enabled us to hire a national PR firm out of New York City to kind of help us tell the story. Come to find out, this firm, Development Counselors International, or DCI as they go by, had been working for Oklahoma City for 30 years.
Really?
30 years they've been working for Oklahoma City and have done such an effective job of telling their story. They've now been helping us tell our story for the past 4 or 5 years, and they've been really, really effective, and it's helped us a lot. And so
that's amazing.
Being able to go up there this past, as you were referencing earlier, this past fall, we went to New York with the mayor, as we normally do, but this time we partnered with NYU, New York University, that you might know that NYU has a Madrid campus, a Paris campus. They got campuses or sites across the globe, but they also have a Tulsa site, NYU Tulsa. And so to be able to go there, meet with the president of NYU, all the leadership, and we had an event there. But we did all this in collaboration with the Bob Dylan Center and the George Kaiser Family Foundation and the Bob Dylan Center. We took the Dylan pop-up, if you will, and did several days. They had a show there for about a month of Bob Dylan exhibits.
Right.
And so that was another thing that we were able to invite site selection consultants to, just like we'd done the year before with the Outsiders, and just show that really helped showcase our city, gave us an opportunity to tell our story, have lunch with them, have dinner with them, interface with them, and more importantly, Rochelle, bring clients to visit us.
Yes, Mike, we love it when you talk clients.
Yes.
You're talking sweet
paying
talk.
Clients.
That's right, paying clients. Okay, so we're going to do a rapid fire round. We're going to call Insider Tips from Mr. Tulsa. Mike, when the CEO of Agile Space first visited, he said he was blown away by the phenomenal quality of life here. We want to give that same revelation to leaders and travelers who haven't discovered us yet. Give us your first gut-level answer to these 4 questions. What is the one thing about Tulsa's lifestyle or culture that consistently shocks business travelers the moment they land here?
We're a mid-sized city, but we have the quality of life of an extremely large mega city. We have a quality of life of a Chicago, a San Francisco, and LA, and New York. We have all those wonderful quality of life things here. And we're a 20-minute city. You can drive anywhere and be anywhere in 20 minutes. And we have an amazing workforce. And the sophistication of our economy. The sophistication of our museums and our art and our music and our culture, people just fall in love with.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. What is the one only in Tulsa experience that instantly makes a business trip or an event feel special for visitors, would you say?
We take as many folks as we can to the gathering place.
Yes.
And they're absolutely blown away.
They are.
They're
it's like it's all free.
absolutely blown
what?
away.
Yeah.
They're absolutely blown away that you have this on the riverfront in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And for me, what's so exciting is it's now on a riverfront that has water in it.
Yes.
And so it's just fabulous. That's number one. Number two is they really they love our people, and they love the camaraderie, and they're super impressed with the camaraderie that exists. That they really say this is special. What you guys have here, this public-private partnership, the engagement of a city, the engagement of a county, the engagement of a state, the engagement of the feds, the engagement of tribal nations, the partnership with the business community, the partnership with the tourism, with the film industry. All of these collaborations don't exist in most places in this country and across this globe. And so we've gotten rave reviews and compliments as a result of that.
That's wonderful to hear. Thank you for sharing that. For business leader looking to scale, what's a resource or advantage in Tulsa that makes growing a company here easier than on the coast?
We're a whole lot more affordable.
That's true.
Some people may say cheaper, but we're not cheap. But we're far more affordable. And we're in the middle of the U.S. We're right in the middle of the U.S. We have great distribution networks out of here. We have the nation's most inland port waterway in the Port of Catoosa. We've got the Port of Muskogee. We've got the Port of Inola. But most importantly, we have an amazing workforce. We have an amazing, well-trained workforce that's supported by a wonderful higher education system, a wonderful career technology system, community college system. All of our higher ed partners work together so very well to support the development as well as the retention and expansion of our workforce.
That was an amazing answer, Mike. It's very exciting for us that we're able to really compete with the coast like that.
Yes.
And that's something I hear all the time from meeting planners, those third-party meeting planners, and they're sending proposals for Tulsa. And then you look at history, and so often they've been in Dallas, Chicago, Los Angeles, but that's what I hear time and time again. Tulsa's in the center of the United States. Everyone can get there, and that's very attractive.
Well,
and now that we're hearing more about Tulsa on that national, international scale, we want to see how we can fit there.
Well, and I think to your point, Rochelle, the citizens of Tulsa and Northeast Oklahoma are making investments in themselves. We are reinvesting in ourselves. We've built a new arena. We built a new baseball stadium. They're both world class. We continue to expand and renovate our convention center. We built the gathering place. We built all these different things. Our downtown. And you asked earlier about my family coming here 20 years ago from Nashville. One of the things that's changed the most in the 20 years has been the evolution of downtown.
Agreed.
And how downtown has improved. We have all this residential living downtown. Sort of the one thing right now that's missing that we don't have downtown is we don't have a convention center hotel.
Yes.
We've got wonderful hotels,
right?
As evidenced by the Marriott Southern Hills.
Yes.
But we really need to land some of these bigger conventions, some of these bigger meetings, these bigger sporting events, is a convention center downtown that's connected to the convention center.
Yes.
So that's the one thing we're working on now. We don't have that. But to take advantage of the BOK Center, to take advantage of the Arvest Convention Center, we really need that. So that's sort of the next thing that we're really working on downtown. We'd love also to get a new soccer stadium downtown. Right now, the FC Tulsa that almost won their league championship and made it to the finals. Did a great job, but they're playing at One Oak Field in Tulsa Driller Stadium, which is fabulous. But to be able to have their own soccer stadium play on their own field would be that much nicer. And that would just be one other additional amenity downtown that can help bookend, if you will, another corner of our downtown.
Yep, that's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Give us one surprising fact about Tulsa's $12 billion tech momentum that would make any outsider rethink what they know about Oklahoma.
You know, I think our tech momentum, it's so far spread. You know, I think if you look at the drone technology,
yes,
that's happening now. Oklahoma State University, you've got the Osage Nation, you've got so many others. Tulsa Innovation Labs, the George Kaiser Family Foundation, others are so involved in the tech space and the drone space. It's growing tremendously. You add the data centers to it, it just gives us that much more momentum. And then we've got all of our major employers. If you look at Williams, you look at One Oak, you look at BOK, you look at Hamrick and Payne, you look at all these different companies, technology is growing and expanding so much. It's
so
just
fast.
It's so rapidly that it's just playing such an important role in those industries, and it's playing such an important role in the growth of our economy today and certainly into the future.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, it's clear that whether it's a $9 billion Google expansion or a personalized backpack for a student at TPS, the bridge to the future is about more than just numbers. It's about the people making it happen. If there's one thing I'm taking away from our conversation today, it's that Tulsa isn't just waiting for the future to happen. We're building it right here on the Silicon Prairie. That's right. For those of you listening and want to see the momentum for yourself, or if you're a planner looking to bring your next big event to the city, that is officially blowing away the competition, head over to tulsachamber.com to learn more about the 2030 initiative. Is there anything else that you think that people need to take a look at?
I think the last thing I'd say, and I touched on this in the beginning, but I think it's a huge differentiator. The people of Tulsa and Northeast Oklahoma are magical.
Yes.
The people in Tulsa and Northeast Oklahoma have an amazing work ethic. They're very caring, compassionate individuals. I think many who come from a tribal background are very rooted in their community, rooted in their tribal nation, rooted in their state, and that we've been able to attract an amazing workforce. We've been able to attract people from across the globe and across the country. The really interesting thing, Rochelle, is once they come here, they fall in love. They may not know much about us when they get here, but they fall in love with us. And they never want to leave.
Yes.
They never, ever, ever want to leave.
Yes. Well, and one example of that is the Tulsa Remote program.
Yes.
I've talked to a couple of people that have come to Tulsa from like New York City or from Los Angeles, and they're like, I had no idea Tulsa had all of this, and that it was so artistic, and there was so much going on for younger people, and I can see myself growing here, and also how affordable we are, how much more they get for their money. So that has been an amazing addition to Tulsa and getting new people here.
Yeah, I compliment our friends and partners at GKFF who've done a tremendous job with that. I think there's some 3,000 people, 3,000 citizens that have now come here and now call Tulsa home, having come here through that program. And if it weren't for COVID, that program would have probably never ever existed. But it's been a great tool to help us in our population growth. And so that's another thing. For us to continue to recruit companies, for us to continue to recruit conventions and sporting events, we need more people here.
It all works
and so
together.
as we continue to grow and prosper and do well, that just helps us continue to build that energy and propel the momentum that we have today.
Absolutely. There's lots of room to play in the Tulsa sandbox.
Yes.
Well, Mike, thank you for sharing your insider tips and for everything you and the Chamber are doing for Tulsa on the world stage. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning into Lobby Talks. Mike, we really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Rochelle. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much. You all have a great day. Bye.
And before we wrap up, if you've made it this far, you're clearly a part of the conversation. But here's the thing, a huge number of you tuning in each week aren't actually subscribed. So if you're enjoying Lobby Talks and want to stay tapped into conversations like this one, make sure you hit subscribe wherever you're listening. Whether that's Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or your go-to platform, subscribing means you'll never miss the insights, strategies, and real-world moments shaping what's next for meetings, events, and the destination driving business forward. We've got more conversations like this coming your way. So go ahead, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode of Lovey Talks.